I hate found footage movies. The main reason is because I lack the ability to suspend my disbelief when it comes to found footage. The best explanation for suspension of disbelief, I believe, is accepting a concept or a conceit in order to enjoy what is before you, whether it's a comic, a novel, a TV show, a play, or a movie. I hate found footage because I can't accept one. Why was this film found footage? What benefit was making this particular movie this way? Two, how come practically everyone accepts that a camera is on at all times as if it was not even there? Three, why is the camera on all time? Especially when certain plot points and moments just happen to occur. 4. The majority of the time there's a lack of narrative. 5. While the whole point of found footage is to seem realistic, it always seems like it gives a false sense of realism, when in fact, if this were a real life scenario, there's no way any of this could have happened the way it did. 6. Shaky cam. Just shaky cam. I don't think it's a coincidence that in a majority of these films, the main characters seem to be all under 30 years old. I believe that's the demographic that the filmmakers are after. I suppose the thinking is that the filmgoers of that group aren't that sophisticated and will just accept this film the way it is. I also find the found footage movie genre very limiting. For one, you're only aiming at one particular age demographic, and the type of films that you create is either horror or usually teen comedies. There are, however, some exceptions. The reason horror has a bad reputation, I believe, is because it's seen as a cheat, figuratively and literally, and needing no skill to do, which I disagree with. Also, I believe it's seen as being rote with bad acting, writing, and an absence of ideas. Found footage films seem to play into this stereotype. And found footage films always find it tough to get to know the characters if there's always a constant jump cut or shaky cam not showing you how you got to one place in the movie to another. To not show the interaction that had happened between cuts is, I just see as simply a lazy practice. Also, the worst thing about a found footage horror movie is you know how it ends. Everyone's dead. That's why it's found footage. That's why the footage had to be found. Ugh. A major flaw with this type of filmmaking is you can only see this type of film only once. And because it's going to come off as a gimmick. Don't believe me? Check out the opening weekend box office and then the next week's box office of found footage films. Normally there's a drop of maybe 30 to 40%. Nope. And found footage films, it could be between 70% to over 90% dropping. In films in general, a lot of issues people have with the trailers is that they show everything. This isn't actually true with most movies, but with found footage films, yeah, you've pretty much seen the whole film if you've seen the trailer. Another issue I always have with found footage films is if something's coming after you, whether it's a giant monster or a devil, why are you still filming it and running? Why don't you just drop the camera and make a run for it? The less you have to carry, the faster you can get away. Something like that would never happen in real life. I feel the last movie that was really successful horror movie-wise and weaving in found footage into its narrative was the Blair Witch Project. It worked because most of the audience believed that this was new and edgy and hadn't been done before. Of course, most of the people in the audience probably never saw Cannibal Holocaust, but that came out years before and most people have never seen that. Heck, some people believe that the footage that was on the screen was real, even after the film came to the theaters and the actors appeared on talk shows to talk about the film, people still thought it was real. That said, the problem with Blair Witch and other found footage films is once you see it, once you experience all of its beats, it's no longer interesting enough to watch it again and again. Despite my negative feelings about found footage, I do like at least maybe one or two found footage films. But even then, I feel that they would come off better if they weren't filmed as found footage. Let's take Chronicle, for example. It was a good movie and Cloverfield had its moments. However, I feel that these movies would have done better if they have just been shown as not found footage. Because in the found footage genre, you're only seeing one perspective of the overall story, of the overall action. I feel that those two movies would have done better had they been shown from multiple perspectives of the different characters in the story, instead of just focusing on basically the person holding the camera. Also, films like these and also films like Earth to Echo, they're relatively cheap to produce and they don't necessarily have a ton of money for special effects, but they come off very well. I believe that's because they cheat and abbreviate an action scene. I believe if they didn't use the certain found footage techniques and they just filmed it as a regular movie, the budget would explode. Well, I'm running out of time, but before I go, please, once again, thank you for viewing this video. Please subscribe if you want to the DR Harris and Graphic Descriptions YouTube channels. Also, you can find more of my work at www.drharris.net. And until next time, goodbye.